Hi everybody, it's Encrypted Angels and I am with my oldest daughter today. So we are going to call her Pixie for today. Hello Pixie. So this is Dax. I am the host of Encrypted Angels. So hello everyone, nice to meet you. Alright, so today we have an exciting day with Encrypted Angels. Not only are we doing an interview with my daughter, and just to be clear, she is an adult, so she is over 18 years old, and oh yeah, there you go. Also, today is my birthday, actually all of our birthdays, I guess you could say. This is the day our body was born today, so this is the official body's birthday today. So we have some presents we're gonna open up here in just a little bit, but first I'd like to go over some things with my daughter. A lot of people have asked some questions, or a lot of people have been curious about what having children and being multiple is like and how that works. And so we're here to sort of, I wrote out some questions for my daughter and to ask, or I mean, I'm gonna ask her the questions and you guys can see for yourselves what she has to say of what it was like. All right. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So first, why don't we tell the people a little bit about you? Like, what do you do for a living, and what are your inspirations to do as a career?
So currently I have 2 retail jobs. I'm going to school part-time at a community college, and I do 2 websites, and I try to maintain what little of a social life I can because I might be the only extrovert in our family.
Truth.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what I spend the majority of my time doing is school or work or homework.
There you go. There you go. So, and tell me a little bit about your major in college. What are you majoring in?
Well, like I said, I'm going to a community college, so we don't really pick majors. You get your first 2 years out of the way at a community college, and then you can transfer to a university. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm basically getting my associates, and then I'm going to go to a university for my bachelor's. And
but once you get there, what's going to be?
Once I get there, I want to focus on software development and object-oriented programming.
I have no idea what she just said. Can you say that one more time?
Software development and object-oriented programming.
Whatever that means, I don't know. It's I'm just proud to be her mom. All right. So how many coding languages do you know?
Well, I started programming because I had an ex-boyfriend, and I'm a very competitive person. So he was taking some computer courses and programming courses, and being the competitive person I am, I told him I can learn better than you without a class. So I started teaching myself C++ through various videos. There's some programs.
Teaching yourself?
Yeah, teaching myself.
See, which one?
C++.
So there's courses for that, like college courses for C++, right?
Yeah.
And how old were you when you were teaching yourself this?
It was my sophomore year of high school.
So, okay. Alrighty. So, wow. And you know how many languages? How many coding languages?
So I know C++, Java. I know those 2 pretty fluently. However, I'm going to, like I said, the community college, and I have a couple of courses that I'm taking, and it's teaching me PHP, SQL, JavaScript, and HTML. That's currently what I'm learning right now.
Wow. Okay. So some of this is self-taught, and some of this is learning through the classes.
Yeah.
Courses. Alrighty. So, all right. So now that we know a little bit about you, well, actually, last question about that kind of stuff. What kind of grades? Can you tell me what kind of grades do you typically get? You know, what kind of grades did you get in high school growing up, and then what kind of grades are you getting now in college?
Growing up, some of the inspiration I actually needed some inspiration from my teachers and not just my family to tell me that I'm smart or that I can do things. So I remember elementary school and middle school, I really, really struggled. I made a lot of D's and C's. And then when I got into high school, I kind of realized that it actually mattered now. So I kept A's and B's for the majority of high school. I had 1 or 2 C's and D's here, but I was very focused on keeping my GPA up so that way I could go to college.
Right. So, and what in the kind of grades you get now?
Right now, I'm only taking 2 courses right now. I decided to take it slow and just dip my feet in the water.
Right.
So right now, I have an A in one of my courses and a C in a course that we're not quite finished yet, and the majority of people have a C. So I'm hoping to bring that up to a B by the end of the year.
Gotcha. So yeah, some courses are just a little bit extra hard like that. All right, so we're gonna dig into the reason why we're doing this, of talking about a little bit about D.I.D and being a family together. So with D.I.D, and so tell me a little bit, what was it like, in your own words, to have a mother that's D.I.D?
I remember a couple of times where I would be playing with her or something, and then it would be like the way she talked to me was a little bit different. I remember various times where that's happened. And I was just really, really confused. It wasn't until I was about somewhere between 10 and 12 that I was actually told that she has a multiple personality disorder, that things are different than with other people, that there are others in her head, and it took me a while to actually get that wrapped around my brain. But when I actually understood it, I felt like I just had a better connection with her after I understood that that's what it was.
About how old were you, do you think you were when you actually, well, tell me, first of all, how old were you when you were told, and who told you? Because it was never our decision. We still, as a system, we hadn't decided if we were ever going to tell our kids we're D.I.D, and if we were going to tell them, we didn't know at what age we should tell them. And so I'm divorced, and she was primarily raised with her dad and her stepmom, and then we would have visitations, like she would come down and spend the summer with me, or the weekends, often the weekends, stuff like that, other things, some like Christmases, Thanksgiving,
and I did spend
things
1
like
or
that.
2 years in my teenage years living here with her.
Yeah.
And so the question was,
So it's like just telling the public like a little bit about what it was like to, what it was like to have a D.I.D mom.
oh, you were asking about who told me when.
That's right. Who told you that we are a system, and how old were you when you were first told versus when you felt you understood it a little?
I was first told when I was somewhere between the ages of 8 to 10 by my father and my stepmother. For some reason, they thought that I should know. I was always just a very inquisitive person.
Yes. She always wants to know, like, she is in it. You're doing the laundry. What is that? Why are you using that? She wants to know what the detergent is about. Like, why do you use the detergent to clean your clothes? Like, why is that needed?
Why is it that detergent that you use?
Exactly. It's why isn't it this other kind? Is there something special about that kind? Like, she always wants to know. Like, she always wants to she wants to dig as far deep into it until eventually her curiosity is satisfied, and she's like, okay.
So I don't remember what we were talking about or why it came up, but I think I was talking about something that my mom did, and Jody and Daddy were like, well, did you know about this? And so I was somewhere between the ages of 8 to 10 when that conversation actually took place. And then like I said, I moved here for a year or two, and before I moved here, I actually explicitly remember my dad saying that it might be a danger to me, and I was not expecting my father to ever say something like that. But he did say that he thought that maybe like she would have an episode, whatever that would mean, and that I would be hurt. So I moved here anyway, and it was definitely nothing like what my dad or stepmom were telling me it would be like. It was much more pleasant than they tried to make it sound, and I was very happy to be with my mom, though it was a really rough year with other people that was in my outside life.
Yeah, friends and a boyfriend you dated. That was really hard. Yeah, Okay. Do you think you'd turn out different if your mom wasn't D.I.D? Like, if I wasn't D.I.D, do you think you'd turn out differently?
No, I really don't. I'm a hard head fighter, I guess you could say that, because I'm a Capricorn, but I'm a hard head fighter. I want to take everything as is. I want to, whenever someone confronts me about something, it's very much a fight or flight mode, and most of the time my initial reaction is to fight. So having my mom be D.I.D, I think one of the things that I learned is that you don't give up fighting. That no matter what you do, no matter what other people say, it doesn't matter.
Just keep being you, boo. All right. Now this is going to be a really hard question for me to ask. Maybe I'll open some presents after. Do you think your mom having your mom having D.I.D has negatively impacted you? And if so, how has it negatively impacted you?
There are signs that depression and anxiety can be genetic. Mm-hmm. And I think between a combination of both my mother and my father, I suffer mildly from depression, but I don't think it was because my mom's D.I.D. It wasn't because of the way she raised me. It wasn't because of what she taught me. It wasn't how she presented herself. It was simply, that was just the cards we got dealt.
So do you feel like, because I mean, that we switch often. You've met several of my others, practically everybody that's going to come out, Ash, Andy, Mia, myself, a few others. And so do you feel like anytime you saw or even knew us, I mean, we switched right in front of you earlier today, but do you feel like even when you were younger and you were starting to understand and be able to understand that the D.I.D, and you saw us switching, that didn't have any kind of negative impact on you, seeing us switch and going from, say, like Diva is, we've always kind of considered like Diva as your mom. She was the one that was there majority of the time in your younger years, which naturally people don't really have memories much when they're 3. So she may not have memories of when she was 3, but we have memories of when she was 3 and younger. In any case, well, where was I going with this?
No, I don't think it's ever negatively impacted me, the switching. Like I said,
I think switching with the different people.
I think my dad made me kind of scared of it a little bit, but again, when I saw it, even before I even understood what it was, it didn't really scare me or negatively impact me. It kind of confused me, I'll say that, because, 1 minute it's this kind of super girly playing with my dolls, and then the next minute it's kind of like my mom is
like a guy,
like she doesn't want to play with dolls, but she wants to still be around me, and so she'll sit there and watch, but she won't really interact. And I remember little stuff like that, but
where are the G.I. Joes?
But I don't really remember. I don't think it ever negatively impacted me. I don't remember being upset or mad or scared of the
Has
switch.
Has any of mine ever done anything that you felt was like threatening to you or negatively like bad or abusive or something like that? Like, do you think that there's, has there ever been anything that any of mine have, I don't know,
The
like,
only thing I can think of is there was one time where I was visiting my mom while I still lived with my dad and stepmom, and I was visiting her, and it was like the day we were trying to go back. And I don't remember what happened, but it was just thing after thing after thing, and we all got really frustrated and upset, and I remember my mom kind of having a little bit of a tantrum in front of me.
meltdown? It
yeah.
was total meltdown. I'm not proud of, I know exactly what she's talking about, but go ahead.
But that's the only time that I've ever felt threatened by my mom, and I wasn't even
Did you feel threatened?
a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
you were throwing stuff.
I was?
Yes.
I don't remember throwing stuff.
I think the noodles burned you or something. You were like cooking something in a microwave and it burned you, and then you like threw it down on the counter.
Oh, I moved it from the microwave and went like that on the counter. Like I was
But
holding
it was like
something
really
and
loud, and you were already like yelling and cussing, and
I was very upset and
so I at that point, yeah, I was a little bit confused and a little threatened, but I never really. I didn't think my mom was gonna hurt me, but I didn't really want to be around my mom in case like I got in the way.
yeah. I can understand that. And so I don't know if I want to keep that in there. Okay. So, but nobody did like anybody ever. Did anybody hurt you though? Did anybody
No
hurt
one's
you?
hurt me. My dad, he grew up with parents that disciplined you via spanking. That was how he grew up. And so that's how he knew to punish us. And I remember my mom and dad getting into arguments about whether or not they should spank me. That my mom would be able to control her anger better, even with all of her others screaming at her or trying to figure out something, that she could control herself better than my father could with just himself. So, no, I've never felt threatened by mom at all.
Yeah. So, well, I was never okay with spanking or any kind of physical discipline. It was always like time out or go to your room and I think even that day I told you to go to a friend's house when I was really like,
yeah, you did.
When I was really upset and I was in it and I threw that, whatever it was, like something I microwaved, like she said, threw it down on the counter, that it was, that I told her, I was like, go to your friend's house. And her and her sister, okay, so we were just talking about the not a so shining moment. It's when like she said, it was one thing after another, and my anxiety had gotten the best of me, and we had just
and
like,
she told me
really-
and my sister that we should go, and my brother wasn't there for some reason. He didn't come to visit, so
yeah, it was just you and your sister. So yeah, I told them, I was like, go to your friend's house. And so her and her sister went to their friend's house for an hour to go play, and then I did what I had to do to calm down. It was all good. Okay. Have you ever wished your mom wasn't D.I.D?
No, like I said, I don't think my mom having D.I.D has ever negatively impacted me, and I can't think of another mom in my life. That's just not possible.
Aw, cute babe. So, and I think that is it. So, what would you like other people to know about? Because I mean, there have been some people that have been really, really cruel and really mean about, when it comes to D.I.D and parenting or being a parent. I remember personal times, with myself, people judging whether or not I would be a good parent. And actually, there were times that I remember even though you don't remember when your dad and I were together and you were wee little, I was socializing her with other people, and if they had found out that I was a multiple, they didn't want their children coming over to play with her. If they found out that I was a multiple, they would kind of judge it beforehand, and I kind of always felt like people were judging me as a parent in general with raising children and being the way that we are as a D.I.D system and stuff. So I wanted to try to this was also a very big fear of ours for a while that we talked with the therapist about too, is about how can we be a good parent and still and be a good parent and be a D.I.D system. Like how is that possible, or is it possible, kind of thing. And we worked a lot with a therapist that did confirm that actually multiples make for very good parents, apparently. So I wanted to have a moment to talk with my oldest daughter and about D.I.D and what it was like to have a parent that is a multiple.
I feel like most multiples are more empathic than other people. I haven't met others. I've met people who claim they were, and I don't like that.
Your sister, she said that not too long ago. She mentioned that she knew somebody at her school that told her that she's a multiple, but when she gave me more information about it, I was very skeptical myself. I mean, I can't diagnose or verify somebody else's experiences, but I was very skeptical. And you just mentioned that you've met other people. So how can you, I mean, being a child of a multiple, how can you tell if somebody is, like, how could you tell that these people were claiming to be, but maybe not really what they were, maybe they weren't really one?
My mother and I have had lots of conversations, because being the inquisitive person I am, after I found out that she had D.I.D, I wanted to ask her, what it was like, various experiences, what goes on in the world, if they can just kind of materialize anything. And as she was explaining stuff to me, I understand everybody's different. At that point, I had known 2 people who claimed that they were multiple, and only one of them I could possibly see might not have been lying. But the other one, he would say, oh yeah, and he would blame everything that went wrong on another multiple that he had. And it always felt like he was trying to get out of things, or lie, or try to be some kind of con artist. And it never actually felt like what my mom said about her D.I.D was ever true to them.
So did you ever see him switch? Was it him or her? I don't know.
Him.
Did you ever see him actually switch? Like, you've seen us switch. I mean, even earlier today when Mia was out, and how she talks, how she acts, stuff like she knows how to do makeup. I can't do makeup to save my life. Et cetera, these kind of things. So did you ever see him switch or anything? Or the other one, for that matter?
The other one, yeah, it was very weird with the other one.
The one that was believable.
The one that was believable, because she, I met them in 2 different places. They never knew each other. But the female that I met, she, one minute she would be having like a full-on like science or math conversation with me, or I would be tutoring her in something, and just suddenly it was like I'm trying to deal with a child. They couldn't focus on anything. They wanted to grab stuff, and it was a lot of what I've seen in my mom and a lot of what she did, I could tell with just I feel like everyone kind of has certain tics, and it's difficult to explain how I could tell that it was just different with the other guy, because the other guy, it never felt like he ever switched, and again, it always felt like he was just trying to blame stuff on other multiples.
Right, I've met that type too. I have met people that it's like after they meet me, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, maybe I'm multiple too. And then they just start blaming anything that's negative or bad against their others. And that's not, like, we don't even do that. I don't know why somebody else trying.
I mean, when you think about it, D.I.D. comes from some severe trauma and difficult things. Usually.
Not in all cases, because there is a version of diagnosis for D.I.D. that is no known causes. But majority of the cases, and in our case, it is trauma related.
And so I can't see why someone would want to make up that they were in that much pain or that much suffering. And D.I.D. is something that I can only imagine is totally difficult and really hard to process and deal with, especially at the ages that I met the two individuals in question. I met one of them, I met my freshman year, but I didn't really know them until later in my junior year. The other one that was believable, I met her in my sophomore year. So.
Gotcha.
You want to open some presents?
Yes.
All right. So since it's her birthday,
His, hers.
Since it's their birthday, we are going to open up some presents that I got them and wrap them, and I really hope that you like them.
Now, are these for anybody in particular, or did you want to grab them, or you want me to, or?
I can grab them.
Okay. All right.
No, I think everybody.
Everybody? All right. So, okay. So there, just to kind of explain to YouTube right now what's going on inside of my head, since we do have presents and it is our birthday, there is a lot of people up at the front. Ash is up at the front. Andy is up at the front. Mia, you guys have, if you've seen the other video, Tea Time with Mia, she's up at the front. She's like, presents, and clapping her hands and all excited. She's probably like the most excited. Her and Sarah, as she said in her other previous video, she often spends a lot of time with her best friend inside, Sarah, when they are inside. So they're both excited about present. They're like, open them already. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with the small one. So it's a package. It says celebrate. I'll show the glare may not. There you go. Celebrate. There you go. Okay. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, it's wrapped very well. I don't know where to. There we go. Soft sole support. I need this. I have, see, it even says it's for plantar fasciitis at the very, very top. I don't know if you guys can read that, but it's for plantar fasciitis. So and I need those. Those will be really good for my shoes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And here is another box. It
One of
also
the places
has celebrate on the paper as well.
I work in retail stuff, so I get lots of stuff on discount.
Yes. Okay. Aha. Shoes. We've got shoes. Converse. Yes. Put that down there. So, let me show you how I know it's, well, aside from the Converse emblem at the top, but also Converse. Haha, nice. Burgundy red. Yeah. Very nice. I think I'm gonna wear these tonight. All right. Oh, thank you, baby. And thank you for doing the video with me. I really appreciate it. So, thank you. I was awesome. All right, so it's bye YouTube. Thank you for watching. So don't forget to subscribe, and we will try to do more videos.
We like likes.
Likes, yes, please like, and we will look forward to your comments and see what you guys all have to say. And maybe next time, if you guys have other questions you would like her to answer, maybe next time she is here, we could do a part 2 and we could answer some of the questions you all may have.
Not here that often, unfortunately. Anymore.
Yeah, if we do another one, it probably won't be for like a month at least.
At the least.
At the least, at the very. That's being hopeful, I think.
Like I said,
she's very busy.
Yeah.
She's got a college and 2 jobs, and she's very, very busy. So I'm just glad she was able to be here today for my birthday. It's really great. So thank you. I want to give you another. I love you, baby. Thank you. So, and we are gonna go out to eat, you guys. So take care. Bye bye, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, YouTube. Say bye.
Bye.